Welcome, everyone, to NFL Primetime. I'm Chris Berman, alongside Booger McFarland. It's week 12 of NFL Primetime. And before we dive in, let's take a moment to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. Absolutely. Same to you. Boom. What we witnessed today was unbelievable. Some of the most outrageous football action you could imagine. Looking at the slate of 1 o'clock games, there's something special about Thanksgiving. It always seems to bring the excitement. Just when you think it might not deliver, it surprises you. Even a game that seems like a sure washout ends up being competitive. It's why they play the games. But don't you just wish we could have fewer heart-stopping moments in the fourth quarter? For sure. Experience in those tense situations can be helpful as the playoffs approach, knowing how to navigate those critical moments. However, I'd prefer to win comfortably, not at the last second. Exactly. Now, let's look at the Detroit Lions. They're on a remarkable streak, aiming for their ninth straight win. Their only loss this season was back in week 2 against the Colts. Every game this year has been close, except that defeat to Buffalo. Jared Goff is making plays, connecting with weapons like Tim Patrick and Jahmyr Gibbs. The Lions' offensive line might just be the best in football. And look at this. Gibbs breaking through and making an exhilarating 1-yard run. We see Goff finding Jameson Williams, and it sets up a beautiful touchdown run by David Montgomery. The Lions are dominating the game and controlling the line of scrimmage. Remarkable physicality and precision from their offense. They ended up leading comfortably thanks to solid contributions from Anthony Richardson of the Colts. But the Lions walked away with a 24-6 win under Dan Campbell. What a solid performance. Now, on to the Kansas City Chiefs. You might think this would be an easy victory for them, but let's be real. Nothing is ever simple in this league. This new version of the Chiefs, without Tyreek Hill, relies heavily on ball control and their defense for their wins this season. True, and while they secured their 10th win of the season, there are concerns. Their defensive performance was shaky, allowing the Panthers to exploit them, especially considering injuries to key players. Patrick Mahomes shone again though, showcasing his playmaking abilities when it counted. Right, the Chiefs managed to win 30-27, but fans are left wanting more. They ride on Mahomes' excellence, but defensive issues and inconsistent offensive line play could be problematic heading into the playoffs. Absolutely, they need to tighten things up. The goal is to secure a top AFC spot and home field advantage. And they know that close wins can't continue turning into losses if they want a serious shot at the Super Bowl. It was a classic rivalry matchup. And while the Cowboys might have struggled in previous games against Washington, this time they pulled it off in a wild finish. Just incredible. As the game escalated in the fourth quarter, the teams traded scores like it was a basketball game. An impressive catch and run by McLaurin, only to miss the point after. Classic drama. And let's not forget the onside kick attempts. The Cowboys ultimately prevailed, ending their 5-game losing streak, with Cooper Rush stepping up big time. What a game in Chicago. The Bears faced off against the Vikings, and let me tell you, it had all the makings of an intense showdown. Incredible play from Caleb Williams. The rookie quarterback is showing promise despite setbacks. Though the Bears fell short in overtime, Minnesota's defense really brought it, forcing the Bears into difficult situations. It's a tough season for them, but you can see growth, especially in Williams, as they continue to face tough tests. They're aiming to build on their foundation. As we head into Thanksgiving, we'll see how the NFC East unfolds and whether the Chiefs can bounce back and find their rhythm. Patrick asks, "Hey everyone, welcome to NFL Prime Time. I'm Chris Berman, joined as always by the one and only Booger McFarland. It's week 12. And as we kick things off, let's take a moment to wish all of you a very happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to you too. Boom. What a day we had in the NFL. The action was absolutely wild. There's just something about the Thanksgiving slate of 1 o'clock games that always delivers excitement. You're right. Just when you think a game might turn into a snooze fest, it ends up being a nail biter. That's the beauty of the NFL. But honestly, wouldn't it be nice to enjoy a comfortable lead without all the last-minute drama? Absolutely. Experience in those high-pressure situations can be valuable as the playoff push gets real. But let's be honest, winning by a margin would be a lot less stressful. For sure. Now, let's dive into the Detroit Lions. They're riding high, looking for their ninth consecutive win. Their only loss this season was back in Week 2 against the Colts. Every other game has been tightly contested, except that game against Buffalo. Jared Goff is really stepping up, connecting with playmakers like Tim Patrick and Jahmyr Gibbs. And let's not forget about that outstanding offensive line. Check this out. Gibbs breaking through for an electrifying 1-yard run, and Goff finding Jameson Williams. That sets up a picture-perfect touchdown from David Montgomery. The Lions were in full control, dominating the line of scrimmage with remarkable physicality and precision. They earned a solid 24-6 win over the Colts, and it's clear that Dan Campbell has these guys on the right path. Now, let's shift gears to the Kansas City Chiefs. We could have expected an easy afternoon for them, but in the NFL, nothing is ever a given. Without Tyreek Hill, this current version of the Chiefs relies heavily on ball control and defensive play to secure their wins. Right, they notched their 10th win of the season, but some red flags popped up. Their defense struggled against the Panthers, who took advantage of injuries to key players. Nonetheless, Patrick Mahomes continued to shine, making clutch plays when needed. The Chiefs pulled off a tight 30-27 victory, but fans are left wanting more. Mahomes is great, but defensive inconsistencies and a shaky offensive line could create problems as they eye the playoffs. Absolutely, they need to tighten things up moving forward. The goal is to grab a top seed in the AFC. But if they don't start converting these close wins into comfortable victories, it could haunt them come playoff time. Now, let's talk about a classic rivalry between the Cowboys and the Commanders. The Cowboys had struggled in their previous matchups against Washington, but this time, they pulled out a thrilling finish. Incredible stuff. As the fourth quarter unfolded, it was like a ping-pong match of scores. We saw McLaurin make a sensational catch and run, but then the missed extra point. Talk about drama. And remember those onside kick attempts? Ultimately, the Cowboys clinched the win and snapped their 5-game losing streak, thanks to an impressive outing by Cooper Rush. What a showdown we had in Chicago as the Bears took on the Vikings. This game had all the makings of an epic contest. Caleb Williams displayed some fantastic promise as the rookie quarterback. Unfortunately for the Bears, they fell just short in overtime. But Minnesota's defense gave them fits all day long. It's a challenging season for Chicago, but you can clearly see the growth, especially in Williams. They're learning and evolving as they face these tough challenges. As we head into Thanksgiving weekend, it'll be exciting to see how the NFC East unfolds and whether the Chiefs can regain their rhythm. Absolutely. Stay tuned, everyone. And thanks for joining us on NFL Prime Time. Feel free to adjust any parts to better fit your style.